June 18th, 1815, 9:00 p.m. The mud of Waterloo is no longer just dirt. It is a thick, crimson soup of 50,000 men and 10,000 horses. As the screams of the dying fade into a haunting silence, a single messenger slips away from the carnage. He isn't riding for a king, he is riding for a banker. Fast forward 24 hours, the London Stock Exchange. The air is thick with the smell of cheap tobacco and expensive fear. If Napoleon wins, the British Empire is a corpse. If he loses, it is a superpower. Every fortune in England is hanging by a single, fraying thread. In the center of the storm stands Nathan Mayer Rothschild. He doesn't speak. He doesn't move. He stands by his usual pillar, his face like a mask carved from cold stone. But Nathan has a secret. While the British government is still waiting for news from the front, Nathan already knows. He has seen the future, and he is about to kill it. With a slight nod to his agents, the slaughter begins, not with bayonets but with sell orders. Nathan starts dumping his stock. The room panics. Rothschild knows, they scream. The French are coming. In the next 10 minutes, you are going to see how one man turned a battlefield of corpses into a mountain of gold, and how he bought the soul of an empire for pennies on the dollar. To understand the predator, you have to see the cage where he was raised, the Judengasse, Frankfurt's Jewish ghetto, a place of cramped alleys and iron gates that locked from the outside every single night. Nathan's father, Mayer Amschel Rothschild, lived here in a house so narrow you could touch both walls at once. But Mayer wasn't looking at the walls, he was looking at the map of Europe. He had 5 sons. He turned them into 5 daggers, aimed at the hearts of 5 capitals: London, Paris, Vienna, Naples, and Frankfurt. Nathan was the apex. Sent to London in 1798 with £20,000, roughly $3.1 million today. He was crude, he was loud, and he was brilliant. He didn't want to fit into high society, he wanted to own it. While Napoleon was busy conquering land, Nathan was busy conquering the flow of information. He built a private network of couriers, fast boats, and coded letters that moved faster than any government mail. He knew about a revolution in Spain before the Spanish king did. He knew a ship had sunk before the cargo hit the ocean floor. By 1813, the British army was starving for gold to fight the French. The borders were closed. The ports were blocked. It was a logistical nightmare. Enter Nathan. He didn't just find the gold, he smuggled it. He moved massive shipments of bullion right through the heart of France, literally under Napoleon's nose. He bribed the officials, he corrupted the guards, and he charged the British government a war premium that would make a modern cartel blush. He was funding the war on both sides of the border, making sure that no matter who bled, the interest rates kept climbing. By the summer of 1815, Nathan wasn't just a banker. He was the invisible hand, holding the leash of the British lion. Back to the stock exchange, the panic is absolute. Men are weeping, tearing their hair out, watching their life savings evaporate in the Rothschild sell-off. Nathan continues to dump his shares, driving the price down into the dirt. The British economy is officially in a state of collapse. It is the greatest short in human history. And then, just as the closing bell is about to ring, Nathan catches the eye of his lead agent. He gives a signal so subtle, no one else sees it. He isn't done selling, he has just started buying. But he isn't buying stocks, he is buying something Much, much bigger. When the official word of Wellington's victory finally hit London the next day, the market didn't just recover, it exploded. But it was too late for the public. Nathan and his brothers now owned the majority of the British national debt. In one single afternoon, Nathan had multiplied his fortune by 20. He didn't just win, he liquidated his competition. From that day on, the Bank of England wasn't run by the Crown. It was run by the Rothschilds. Nathan famously boasted that he didn't care who sat on the throne because the man who controls the money controls the king. But power of this magnitude creates a special kind of rock. Nathan became a ghost in his own city. He lived in a mansion that was more like a fortress. He was obsessed with secrecy. To keep the Rothschild gold from ever leaving the family, they turned to a practice that sounds more like a dark fairy tale than a business strategy: strategic intermarriage. Out of 58 Rothschild marriages in those years, nearly half were between first cousins. Uncles married nieces. Brothers-in-law became fathers-in-law. They were building a genetic bank vault. The internal letters from this era are chilling. Young women treated like currency, traded between branches of the family to ensure not a single cent ever crossed a foreign palm. But even all the gold in London couldn't buy immortality. In 1836, Nathan, the man who could dictate terms to the British Empire, scratched a simple blister on his back. It turned into an abscess. Without modern antibiotics, the King of Gold spent his final days screaming in a bed of silk as his blood turned to poison. He died at 58, leaving behind a fortune that would be worth over $450 billion today. But he also left a legacy of resentment that would fuel every conspiracy theory for the next 200 years. Nathan Mayer Rothschild didn't believe in nations. He didn't believe in glory. He believed in the ledger. We are taught that history is made by great men making great choices. But the story of 1815 tells us a darker, more cynical truth. History is not written in ink. It is written in interest rates. Waterloo was a tragedy for the soldiers and a victory for the generals. But for Nathan Rothschild, it was just a very successful Tuesday. He proved that if you own a country's debt, you own its breath. Every tax dollar paid, every bridge built, and every war fought for the next century had a Rothschild tax hidden inside it. The iron gates of the Frankfurt ghetto were long gone, but Nathan had built new gates, invisible ones, around the entire global economy. But Nathan was just the architect. In our next chapter, we'll see how his brothers and heirs turned this wealth into a global stranglehold. We'll explore how they bought the Suez Canal, fueled the Industrial Revolution, and the terrifying price they paid behind closed doors, where daughters were traded like stocks, and the family bloodline became a golden cage. Because when you play a game this big, you realize that gold doesn't just buy power, it buys the silence of history itself. And remember, when you finally own the world, the only thing left to fear is the world waking up.